Thank you. Thank you very much. This bright light is going to pronounce my already receding hairline. All the best to me for being 32 and unmarried. But that's okay. Before I begin, thank you very much for having me here. It's my first visit to the school, and congratulations on this event, and congratulations on building such a beautiful school. Can I have a big round of applause for the school, please? Thank you. Thank you. To the Mann family, principal sir, the school administration, and most of all the students, lovely to meet you guys. Thank you very much for having me. I see that the primary audience today is students and their parents, so I'm going to try to utilize my time on stage to talk about something that's more relevant for you. A topic that is taboo, and in my humble opinion, not nearly as widely spoken about as it should be, especially in schools. But before I begin, please allow me to set the context here by giving a quick little reintroduction. They've been kind enough with the introduction there. I'm born and raised here in Dehradun, studied not too far away at the Doon School, close by, which makes us very similar, just that you're a little more international than I am. And then I went to Delhi University and then an MBA at the Indian School of Business in Hyderabad. I have one leg in the family business in automotive retail. We have Honda two-wheeler dealerships in Uttarakhand and Punjab. And the other leg in an education startup that I founded called ICANN India. We're in the life skill and soft skill development space in the premium K-12 segment as of now. And by virtue of this latter professional indulgence, I've had the privilege of interacting with thousands of students, working directly with more than 20,000 lovely students like you, and interacting with a lot more. And one thing is absolutely clear, undisputed. I love how everyone's very silent, hoping I'll do some stand-up comedy. I won't. Not here, not with our under 18 audiences. But one thing is absolutely clear. There is a painfully widespread, can you hear me? Yes, painfully widespread consumption, use, and abuse of alcohol, tobacco, and different kinds of drugs among school-going children today, especially teenagers. There's enough empirical and anecdotal data to suggest that. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all of these, the vodkas and whiskeys and rums and cigarettes and hash and weed and sometimes even the harder drugs like cocaine and stuff. And by the way, I know there are a lot of adults sitting here, just in case there's anybody who believes that it's probably not appropriate of me to be talking about hash and weed and cigarettes in front of students. I humbly but very strongly believe from my experience that therein lies part of the problem. Because what is happening is that we're not talking about this enough. We're not giving enough factually accurate information to students in time enough, which is causing all of this information to inevitably reach them anyway in an adulterated manner, in the form of misinformation, causing them to develop habits that everybody regrets later. So please do pardon me, but I'm going to take the liberty of talking about it. Please try to not throw me off stage, just yet at least. Which brings me to my first point, which is that I'd like to drive home just how painfully prevalent all of this is. All of these things are more commonplace and widespread than most of us will care to admit. If this first row was not present here right now, I have nothing against you, but if there were only students sitting here, I would have asked the students to give me a show of hands if there's anybody who in the recent past has seen any of their friends from this school or other schools drinking, smoking, or doing some sort of drugs in the recent past. And I'm pretty sure that I would have had an overwhelming majority raising their hands. And by the way, disclaimer, just so that I don't get beaten up on my way out, this is not about your school only. Okay, this is a generalized statement that I'm making for any and every school in the country. It's really not about your school. Rather, there are some statistics that suggest that schools in Dehradun are actually lesser prone to most of these things than some other parts of the country, but that's an unverified statistical statement. But the point is that it doesn't matter whether you're a boarding school or a day school or a day boarding school or a premium school or a not so premium school, government school, private school. Schools all over the country are facing this issue. It's a national problem, if not an international one. And you know this. I'm not asking you to raise your hand, students, but you know what I'm talking about. And why shouldn't it be? I was talking to ma'am here when I was sitting here, and We'll all agree, right? It's so easily available around us. Is anybody really telling us that that guy behind the counter at the Desi Theka is going to say no to that 15-year-old boy who goes there with money to buy some alcohol? Or that local panwadi sitting at the corner of the marketplace is going to say no to that 12-year-old girl who goes there to buy a couple of cigarettes? Obviously not. And this is the unorganized sector. Let me give you a little light on the organized sector of our country. Do you know that today, as we speak here, there are widely popular chains of convenience stores in our country today, as we speak? They are household names, I won't name them, that have the audacity of openly, without any age bar, legally, I'm assuming, sell rolling paper. Rolling paper, for those of you who are not aware, is paper where you place in tobacco, hash, weed, or whatever, and roll it up and smoke. They're openly selling it. It's kept right there, right next to the Cadbury Dairy Milk. Have you felt silk lately? And as if this were not enough, they have the audacity to give you options. You want the white one, take the white one. You want the brown one, take the brown one. You want the roasted one, take the roasted one. You want one with a cherry on top, go for it, because we buried our conscience long ago and we don't care anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, if our nation's convenience stores are openly selling rolling paper, we can only imagine just how profound and prevalent the drug abuse would be. Which brings me to my second point, which is that now that we've established that there is a problem, to be able to effectively counter this problem, we first need to understand the problem. And it is here that I don't really blame the students, I don't. Because at the end of the day, human nature is such that human action is a function of nature and nurture, which means that anything and everything that we do is because of who we fundamentally are and what our ecosystem and environment is that influences us to do what we do. And as far as the nature is concerned, we all know that human beings are fundamentally curious people, especially at an early age. If there's a door that says do not enter, we want to enter it. Yes? Yes. And unfortunately, a lot of these substances are chemically addictive in nature, students, please note, which means that more often than not, if you're trying them just out of curiosity, there's a high chance that you will eventually end up getting addicted to them. So as far as the nature is concerned, we're not really battling the substances as much as we're battling the fundamental nature of human curiosity. Understand that. And now couple that with nurture, where somewhere, I'm sure you'll agree with me, on a societal level, I strongly believe that we've failed. When our older generations were growing up and they would turn on the radio or the TV, they would be encountered with "Mere desh ki dharti sona ugle ugle hire moti." And when our generations, and I'm not that old, there were some students calling me sir, please don't call me sir again. When our generations have grown up and we've turned on the radio and TV, we've been encountered with "Char botal vodka, kaam mera roz ka, na mujhko koi roke, na kisi ne roka." Right? And as if that were not enough, for that one-off chance that that adolescent teenage boy is probably not paying enough heed to this song, they'll also throw in a little bit of Sunny Leone over there to do the job. When she comes on TV, that boy's father is going to be sitting in front of the TV. How do we expect the boy to not get enticed over there? Right? I'm sorry, I'm being very candid here, but I owe you honesty. Therein lies the influence. If not on a conscious, definitely on a subconscious level, we need to be mindful about this. And students, by the way, just because I'm saying I don't blame you guys, doesn't mean you go around swinging a bottle of vodka tomorrow, and if anybody asks you like, oh, it's not my fault, Yo-Yo Honey Singh made me do it. Please. That's just sad, okay? The whole point of this conversation is to sensitize you about these threats so that you can be a little more careful with your choices. Is it possible? Please don't, okay? Because if you continue doing what you're doing, or if you start doing something, I'll just call that loser attitude. I'm sorry, I will. If there's anybody, students, if there's anybody, this talk is focused to you. If there's any friends of yours that come to you and start to peer pressure you into drinking, just tell them that you don't need that liquid courage. You've got enough solid courage of your own. Okay? Is it possible in today's day and age to live a substance-free life? Everybody is smoking and drinking around us. Is it really possible to do that? The answer is a resounding, huge yes. I can give you example after example of very, very successful, brilliant people who are living extremely clean lives, free of all of these substances, alcohol, tobacco, everything, and they're perfectly happy. Okay, they may be really big individuals. I'll give you an example of a small guy from the neighborhood. I'm 32 years of age. And touch wood, I hope and pray I don't start at any point in time, but I've never touched alcohol, tobacco, or any kind of substance in my life, and I'm perfectly happy about it. Full disclosure, I've been spiked twice, though, but I got to know in a sip each, and I left that drink. I don't think I've missed out on anything in life. I've had a very dynamic teens, very dynamic 20s, and I'd like to believe I party pretty hard even now, much harder than a lot of you will. Okay, so it is very, very possible. Students, understand this, okay, and listen to this following part very carefully because this is probably the most important part. You're aware that I went to the Indian School of Business, I mentioned that, and pardon the lack of humility. A lot of my friends are going to hate me for saying this. Pardon the lack of humility, but this is considered a premium business school. And when I was graduating from there, I had a few friends getting placed at different places, including some of them getting placed at these large conglomerates that are in the business of manufacturing, marketing, and selling alcoholic beverages. And it's not just ISB. I believe there's a speaker here, ma'am, from IIM Bangalore. I'm sure you have friends who work at similar places. And again, not just IMB, ISB, there are more schools. Point is, and disclaimer, I love my friends, just in case they see this talk and beat me up. I love my friends. I love ISB, highly recommended, learned a lot, and I have a lot of respect for IIM Bangalore. Too bad it's not as good as ISB, but okay. I'm kidding. No, I really respect IIM Bangalore. Point is, students, please understand this very carefully. I'm concluding with this. All of these individuals that I'm talking about, that I'm apologizing to, are extremely sharp individuals, okay, with a very strong work ethic, highly motivated. They have spent countless hours in the detailed study of analytics, statistics, marketing, consumer behavior, business as a whole. And they're taking all of that rich, cumulative knowledge and sitting on billions and billions of dollars of marketing budgets with the single-pointed agenda of targetedly and focusedly investing those billions to maximize their sales by influencing consumer behavior patterns, including and especially influencing impressionable minds like yours. Which means that it does not matter if the law of the land permits or does not permit them to directly advertise. They will find a way. They will start to make music CDs with the same brand and market that. They will start to make soda bottles of the same brand and market that. They will start to sponsor music festivals and yo-yo sing and music CDs and anything and everything that creates an ecosystem that encourages, normalizes, and glamorizes the consumption of their products. You need to understand that. You need to be aware of this. You need to be sensitive to it. And most importantly, you need to be able to proactively take steps to protect and defend yourselves from these influences. It is your responsibility, students, not only to yourselves, but to your parents, to your families, to your teachers, to your schools, and above all, to this great nation that is counting on you to be its future leaders. It's your responsibility. Not too long ago, there was a UN report that was released that spoke about how they've realized that even one glass of alcohol is bad for your health. Did anyone read that? It was circulating online just a couple of months ago. Yes, no? Yes, thank you. They just realized that a glass of alcohol is bad for our health. They just realized. Are they really telling us that it took all of the scientists from all over the world all of these years to figure out in 2023 that a glass of alcohol is bad for your health? Really? Be smart about it. You owe it to yourselves. Everybody, including yourselves, are investing so much in you, time, energy, money, everything. Please, please be strong and smart enough to understand and differentiate between right and wrong. I'm extremely sorry if I have offended anybody. Ma'am from IIM Bangalore is not even looking up. I believe I have offended her. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I'm extremely sorry if I've offended anybody. You know, these friends I'm talking about, institutions, corporates, I don't mean any offense, and I'm extremely sorry if I've scandalized anybody by talking about all of this openly. That is not the intention. The simple objective of this very casual conversation is to sensitize the community, especially of students, and with them teachers and parents, of the threats and the profundity of the threats that exist around us, with the simple hope that students will be mindful about this in the future. And I'm assuming this talk might go online unless I'm censored out. So if it does, and if there's anybody watching, I humbly request you to please share this with any student that you know and care for, and any teacher and parent that you care for. That's the least that we can do to change the world for the better, one step at a time. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being a wonderful and patient audience. And thank you very much for having me here. Thank you. Thank you.